Samuel Velásquez Caminero. He's a student at the University of Castilla-La Mancha, and he will also be talking about university life and students and what they feel. So please, let's give you our full attention to Samuel, and let's welcome him to the stage.
Thank you very much. So freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is a concept that very few of us will oppose on principle. We go as far as to embrace it as a cornerstone of every liberal Western democracy. And we even revere it as one of our most basic and fundamental rights. Most of us, we love freedom of speech. We love being able to express whatever we see fit to. Or do we? When I first thought about speaking on this topic, I decided to look into what people's opinion on the subject was. And what was the quickest way to find out? To write freedom of speech into the Twitter search bar. After 20 seconds reading tweet after tweet, I had decided idea, but I decided to keep pushing through, and I'm glad I did, because I found out something very, very interesting. The same people that at a certain time were ardent supporters of free speech, even offensive speech, depending on what the ongoing conversation and narrative was, their opinion on it changed. They suddenly decided, well, freedom of speech is great, but it definitely doesn't cover this. I love freedom of speech, but not in this instance in which I completely disagree with what you're saying. Honestly, I found it ridiculous and even a tad hypocritical. But what I found really sad is that I saw a lot of people branding these bad ideas as, well, bad ideas or even criminal offense. But I saw very, very few people offering counter-arguments to these bad ideas. And I think that's the first thing we should be doing. This is why I think it's important to protect freedom of speech, because we need to have the freedom to defend what we believe are good ideas instead of these bad ideas. And that's why I think it's important to keep it in our universities and in our campuses. When we see bad ideas, what we need to do is educate ourselves and use our education, the education we're receiving in our classes, as a weapon against these bad ideas. We need to educate ourselves to find the ideas we're supporting, the ideas we're spreading, and to be able to decide what ideas need to be struck down. Historically, universities have been beacons of free expression. It's in universities where good ideas have been nurtured before being released into the world, and where others have been struck down. The students, we don't need to be overprotected. We don't have to be coddled. We should be exposed to different sets of ideas, even those that we can find morally abhorrent. And why? Because it's thanks to radical ideas that we've gotten to where we've gotten to today. Even if we find, as I said, 95% of those ideas morally abhorrent, we have to allow them to show themselves, because at least 5% of them are the ones, or maybe 1%, but those ideas are the ones that will make us move forward. And that 99%, we can strike them down with our knowledge, our education. That's how we've got to where we are today. Thank you very much.